Alright, what's good YouTube? Now I know, it's been a very long time since my last video, but it's okay. I'm back. Maybe. I'm gonna try to push out more content and be a bit more consistent in the new year. Not really, but I'm gonna try. So I figured, why not come back with a review? A video game review. Today, we're gonna be taking a look at the newest Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Now, I really enjoyed last year's Modern Warfare reboot, easily my favorite Call of Duty game in years, probably since like high school with Black Ops 2. It, really reinvigorated my love for the franchise. It really took me back to my younger days when I was like 13 with Modern Warfare 2 and the OG Black Ops. Oh man, those are some good times. So, does Black Ops Cold War continue this upward trajectory that Modern Warfare started? Or is it another flop? While there's a lot here I actually like, don't be under the impression that I really love this game. Let's watch the review. Cold War is a direct sequel to 2010's Black Ops, set in the 1980s during the height of the Cold War. The story revolves around the CIA and their attempt to stop a Soviet spy named Perseus from overthrowing the US. You play as a new creator character named Agent Bell, working alongside classic Black Ops characters like Woods, Mason, Hudson, as well as new additions such as Russell Adler and his team of CIA MI6 agents. The story's got a different vibe compared to previous games. Cold War's campaign is a stronger focus on espionage and covert ops. I'd say about 99% of your time with the story will be spent sneaking around, engaging in stealth, or just exploring the level. It still features typical COD stuff like Michael Bay explosions, frantic chases, and huge gunfights, but most of the emphasis here is spent on the quieter stuff. You'll be sneaking through the streets of Berlin, avoiding the police to find a target's apartment. Next, you'll be exploring a KGB headquarters as a double agent and doing tasks to avoid suspicion without blowing your cover. There are definitely new additions for the franchise and the welcome change from the stop-and-pop shooting of previous games. Cold War also spices things up by giving players a bit more freedom with the inclusion of interactive dialogue and decision-making. Several points throughout the campaign, you're going to have to make drastic choices that are either going to benefit or hurt your pursuit in finding Perseus. Do I keep interrogating this guy to get more info, or am I satisfied and should I just kill him? How could I convince this guard to open this door without looking too sus? Now I won't go too in depth, but just know that all your choices will drastically affect which characters stay alive, what evidence you find, and so forth. It's this type of interactivity that can allow for multiple playthroughs. Ferrick's other entries like the OG Black Ops and World at War have always delivered in the story department, and Cold War is certainly no exception. It's a mind-bending plot that will keep you guessing from start to finish, dropping big truth bombs and a twist that I won't spoil, but it's gonna have you second guessing everything you've done throughout the story, and it's gonna determine which ending you get, which I gotta say, the endings are literally night and day. I was genuinely surprised.
Combat bows up.
Multiplayer is your standard affair if you've ever played COD. Literally the same concept you've come to love or hate. You got your creative class, your perk system, score streaks instead of kill streaks this time around. As you play matches, you'll level up and unlock new stuff. It's the usual shit. Guns have a decent amount of recoil and the movement feels a bit slower than Modern Warfare, but it's still pretty fast. Some aspects like reloading while aiming down sights and vaulting are back, but you can't mount on walls anymore. Also, TTK is a bit slower too, so you won't really die in one shot most of the time, which is a breath of fresh air. Game modes are your typical assortment of TDM, free-for-all, search and destroy, domination, and headquarters, but with a few new additions. First, there's VIP Escort, where teams guard one player to get extracted off the map without getting killed. It's basically search and destroy, but the bomb's a human. There's also the inclusion of Combined Arms, Cold War's version of Ground War, but on a slightly smaller map with a lower player count. And lastly, there's a new mode, Operation Fireteam Dirty Bomb, a 40-player mode on a huge map where teams of 3 gather uranium to plant in bombs scattered around the map. I'd say it's the closest thing to Warzone Cold War will get right now with things like finding armor plates, reviving teammates, and the map size. And speaking of map size, the maps are honestly not that bad. See, my biggest issue with Modern Warfare was the huge map sizes, which led to a lot of camping. Maps in Cold War are a bit smaller, which in my opinion resulted in better gameplay. Granted, you're still gonna have that one waste man in the corner camping with the sniper, but there's a lot more emphasis on moving around and not staying in one place, which I really liked. Zombies also makes a return, but it's a bit more different. You can now create a class to survive the wave of zombies, giving you more of a fighting advantage. Perca-Colas and the Pack-a-Punch machine are back, along with staples like the mystery box and buying weapons off walls. There's also a new feature called Extraction, where after round 10, you and your team can call in a chopper to escape the map and finish the round. So now we got that out of the way, let's move on to what I hated.
Can you stop Perseus?
We can, sir. I've already submitted the requisition for my team.
Sir, their requests are highly irregular.
Granted, while I praise the campaign, it still has its flaws. Firstly, it's way too short. Clocking in at around 5 hours, you could finish the whole thing in one sitting if you wanted to. It also doesn't help the fact that the campaign is pretty easy. Granted, I was playing on hardened, but still, the AI can be dumb as shit sometimes. Running aimlessly into my line of fire, standing around during stealth sections, fully aware of where I am. It felt like a breeze. Also, the voice acting is cringy as fuck sometimes. First, you got Woods, who sounds constipated all the time.
Thousands dying in a flash. You're talking about fucking infrastructure.
Then you have Hudson, who deadass sounds like a discount Bernie Sanders.
Back in '58, the arms race was in full swing. Eisenhower was convinced if the Reds moved on Europe, we couldn't respond quick enough.
Hell, even the main character you play as, Bell, felt kinda redundant too. Mind you, Bell is a silent protagonist, so during critical dialogue sections, it felt really awkward as he just silently stared at the person he was talking to. Multiplayer still has issues that have been prevalent for a while, like spawn trapping, getting queued up in a match where you're always on the losing side, certain guns being too OP compared to others, like how the hell can an SMG mill somebody from across the map like an LMG or a sniper? And now you have players abusing the SBMM, which has led to some sweaty matches with tryhards and hackers. It's fucking ridiculous. But my biggest concern right now is the game's lack of content. So at the time of my review, we've only got 11 maps total. That's 7 for regular multiplayer, 2 for combined arms, and 2 for fire team. I found myself getting so bored during multiplayer because I'd be cycling through the same maps over and over and over. Play multiplayer for like, I don't know, an hour, and you've basically seen everything this game has to offer. To be honest, I haven't touched multiplayer since, with the exception of this review. There aren't even that many game modes to begin with. The only 2 new ones we're getting are VIP and Fire Team, but where are the classics? Where's Infection? Where's Gun Game? There isn't anything new about this multiplayer at all, and I go so far to say that this might be the laziest attempt at multiplayer for a COD game, period. And it's pretty clear and really obvious that Activision is just waiting until December to roll out Season 1 with the Battle Pass to give us more content, but as of right now, for an $80 game, the amount of content we're getting at launch is laughable. Now don't get it twisted, I liked the gameplay, the guns felt good, movement was okay, and it was actually kind of fun, but there isn't enough here for that fun to last, and I would not be surprised if people went back to Modern Warfare. So overall, I still think Black Ops Cold War is a decent game at best. On the positive side, the campaign is intriguing and different compared to previous games, with more focus on player choice, which gives missions more variety, allowing for multiple playthroughs. Gameplay feels smooth as ever. The new additions to multiplayer like Dirty Bomb and VIP Escort are welcome additions that shake up multiplayer a bit. Map sizes are good, forcing players to actually play rather than camp in one spot, and the new version of Zombies is still as fun as the original. However, on the negative side, despite being good, the campaign is still too short. Clocking in at around 5 hours, some story aspects and characters aren't fleshed out or utilized as well. Enemy AI can be really dumb even on hardened, and voice acting is cringy for some characters. And as the 17th game in the franchise, it still features issues that have plagued every other entry like spawn trapping, matchmaking, weapon balancing issues, and so forth. And now with the use of SBMM, it's led to some extremely sweaty matches in Cold War. And lastly, the lack of content at launch for a full price $80 game is extremely disappointing. So what's my final recommendation? Well, to be honest, while there's a lot I liked and a lot I disliked, I still think Black Ops Cold War is worth playing, but not right now. Your best bet is to wait for a price drop, maybe picking it up on Boxing Day or if it goes on sale sometime soon, or at the very least, just wait until more content becomes available for the game. Like, don't get me wrong, the basic fundamentals are good, gameplay is solid as expected for a Call of Duty game, but the amount and the quality of the content you're getting doesn't warrant a purchase for a full price $80 game. I'm curious to see the longevity of Cold War and how well it will compete with the still thriving Modern Warfare. Only time will tell. That's it for the review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you played Black Ops Cold War, or you're planning on getting it, let me know down in the comments below. I'd really love to know. So I plan on making more video game reviews and first impressions in the future. And with this being a start, let's see where things are headed.